Well, we know that this is showing signs of a very devastating disaster in eastern Afghanistan. Now, this earthquake hit late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning, but we're just getting reports now of just how big this death toll is. Recently, we've got the number of more than 280 people who've died, but local officials are saying that that number is definitely going to rise over the next hours and days. Now, to give you a bit of a sense of the geography of that area, that is on the Afghanistan-Pakistan border. And this area is very hilly and a lot of people live on the bottom of these mountains. So we know that this earthquake would have caused slides. We're seeing images across social media from people living in those areas which show their houses decimated, rubble everywhere as well. And we're hearing from local officials that they're still making their way through that rubble, trying to find bodies. So certainly fears that this is going to be a very devastating situation in Afghanistan. Now, we also know this earthquake, it was 6.1 on the Richter scale in terms of magnitude, and it was also felt more than 500 kilometres away. So people in Pakistan and India, as well as across Afghanistan, were actually feeling this earthquake. More than 120 million people are said to have felt the tremors from this situation.
And what about aid agencies or how people can access help? Are aid agencies on the ground there?
Well, this is going to be a really interesting point of contention in coming days, especially for the Western world. Now, a deputy spokesman from the Taliban, he has come out and said that he needs more aid agencies to come into these areas to help with the rescue efforts. As I said, this is a very remote part of Afghanistan, but there are many people living there, and they're already sending in helicopters in order to rescue people. But the Taliban is calling for more aid organisations to come forward and assist this situation. And we know that about 8 or so months ago, since the Taliban took over Afghanistan, a number of those aid agencies have actually withdrawn. The Australian government no longer has officials on the ground either, and that's the same with many other Western countries who do not recognise the Taliban as a legitimate government. So this is going to be an issue going forward. We've seen a major economic crisis which has swept through Afghanistan since the Taliban takeover as well. The US has taken away a lot of funding as opposition to the Taliban. So what will come next is, how will these governments react in terms of aid? Will they send in support in order to help the people who have suffered in this disaster?
Avani Dias, thanks so much.